Exactly 2 years now since it was launched in December of 2019, and this lovely linear television channel is already the go-to channel, the destination for a passion genre, Bhojpuri movies. Hello and welcome to MediaCast, the podcast series from Mediabrief.com. I'm your host and friend Pavan Chawla, and you're correct if you guessed I was referring to Zee Biskope. And I have with me today Amarpreet Singh Saini, Chief Channel Officer of the Bhojpuri cluster at ZEEL, and Jit Sengupta, Director Marketing of Zee Biskope. And we will speak about a short but, illustrious journey of the channel, Zee Biskope. Amar, welcome to MediaCast.
Hi Pavan, thank you so much for inviting us to your esteemed platform, and would be happy to share whatever we have learned in this quick road to success with Zee Biskope.
Yes, quick road to great success indeed. Congratulations already. And now allow me to welcome Jit Sengupta. Jit, a very warm welcome to you to the episode.
Thank you so much, Pavan. Really looking forward to it. Happy to be here.
Lovely. So are we. Zee Biskope already offers a bouquet of robust content spread across an array of genres highly popular with the Bhojpuri audience, such as, genres like romance, drama, action, and comedy. The channel has grown on the back of great content, marketing, value for advertisers, and of course, the distribution fraternity. And its growth has been achieved by an excellent team, spearheaded by Samrat Ghosh, Chief Cluster Officer East at ZEEL, Amarpreet Singh Saini, whom I just welcomed, the Chief Channel Officer, Bhojpuri Cluster at ZEEL, and of course also Jit Sengupta, Director Marketing, Zee Biskope. And today my guests on this episode of MediaCast are two of these three leaders, Amarpreet and Jit. Samrat, unfortunately, is indisposed, and we will speak about Zee Biskope and its excellent story so far. So, before we begin our conversation, let me do a quick introduction of both Amarpreet and Jit. Amarpreet first. Amarpreet Singh Saini, or Amar as he is fondly called, is Chief Channel Officer, Bhojpuri Cluster at ZEEL. With more than 8 years of media experience spanning across broadcast media like television and radio, Amar has led content based on sharp consumer insights and creative innovation, which have helped him power brands he leads to strong growth. Given his decade-long association with qualitative research across various reputed agencies across the country, Amar is a firm believer in leading as well as being led by evolving consumer psychography. So that's Amarpreet Singh Saini, very, very briefly introduced to you, fondly called Amar, as I said, and Chief Channel Officer, Bhojpuri Cluster at ZEEL. And now, let me introduce Jit Sengupta. Jit is Director Marketing, as I said, for Zee Biskope, the very successful Bhojpuri movie channel from the house of ZEEL, which, as I also just said, turns 2. And that's going to happen on the 21st of December 2021. Jit is passionate about meticulous brand building with a viewer-first approach, and that has been the big driving force behind his marketing of Zee Biskope, the channel that has won a fantastic number of awards in the last 1 year, maybe just a tad over 1 year. I'm not going to tell you how many hits won. We'll wait for Jit and Amar to tell us about that. Before ZEEL, Jit's decade-long media experience included stints in renowned media houses like the Times of India and the ABP Group, where he had several notable achievements. Jit is a marketing and strategy graduate from Warwick Business School, UK, and has pursued his undergraduation from St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. So, Amar and Jit, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you once again to MediaCast, the podcast series from Mediabrief.com. Shall we begin our Q&A?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So, Amar, first, congratulations on the 2 years of Zee Biskope, and all of you, the entire team, the three of you leaders, and of course the entire team have done some amazing work. 2 years, Amar, of Zee Biskope. What's your quick back of the envelope assessment of the highlights so far, and where does Zee Biskope stand amidst the competition?
Thank you, Pavan, for such honoring words, and thanks for your congratulatory wishes. When we started Zee Biskope, it was based on a very simple philosophy that Bhojpuri movie category is heavily commoditized. There was a gap of a curated movie channel, and by curated movie channel I mean that the content which is specifically developed as per the taste of the target audience. There was a huge underserving of content, be it in terms of movies or movie related content, And we started with a firm belief that the audience is ready to be treated with some respect and dignity and some degree of professionalism, even when it comes to a brand or a movie brand or a movie channel. And hence was the genesis of Zee Biskope. And when we launched the brand, we did many category firsts. And to sum up our journey in these 2 years, Pavan, we launched at number 1 position from day one.
Wow.
And since then, we have continued our leadership till date, which is a confirmation and a vindication of the fact that we stood correct.
Fantastic, really wonderful achievement right from day one, and you sustained yourself at the top position. That's really wonderful. So Amar, when Zee Biskope was launched in end 2019, what was your mandate and the goalposts that were set for you?
Pavan, when we launched Zee Biskope, our mandate was very clear, and I'll summarize it in almost 3 points. I can tell you that. Firstly, we will be number 1. We will be commanding leadership position, come what may. And we have done that, and that is the goalpost with which we started. Secondly, we will do work in this category. We will bring the kind of content, entertainment or engagement in this category which has never ever been seen before by the viewers. And till date, we have many category firsts to our name. And thirdly, we will create a brand which will go beyond passive consumption, which will go beyond passive entertainment. It will be a brand which will be a touch and feel brand. It will be a brand with whom you can talk to, you can relate to, and whom you can use to make your dreams and aspirations come alive and get fulfilled.
Wow.
And these were the 3 things we wanted to do, and we have done.
Excellent. And obviously you've done that because you're at number 1 throughout from day one. And Jit, on the marketing side, top bird's eye view for us. How did you view the challenge and the mandate before you?
I believe the best part of Zee Biskope's marketing has been that we've launched a slew of category firsts, which were based on sharply reviewed diving into consumer insights. And however, about 3 months into the launch, Zee Biskope faced the pandemic. And that is when the challenge came, and I'm sure we'll talk about it later in detail. How did we address that?
So Amar, Jit, excellent start to the channel and an excellent report card at the end of 2 years. And we've not even come to the 3rd question of my podcast episode yet. But I want to ask you this before we get on to the specifics of how Zee Biskope really, sort of stood up and eyeballed the competition and claimed its, place at the top. What were the content consumption trends in regional television markets in 2021? In the Bhojpuri cinema space, where does Zee Biskope stand today in terms of rank? I know is number 1, but what about growth and engagement? So let's talk about the content consumption trends in regional television markets in 2021 first, Amar.
Pavan, because of lockdown in 2020 and a part of it also spilling over in 2021, there was a high degree of saturation with content on all the platforms because people were over consuming. Hence, the entire need for novelty and innovation was also higher. You had to go beyond what you had been serving. So that was one of the main consumption trend in Bhojpuri market as well. Merely running movies or premieres was not sufficient. You had to do more to excite the viewer who was sitting at home and possibly over consuming the number of hours because they had time in hand.
Right.
Zee Biskope introduced a lot of new initiatives in 2021. We started the first reality series, non-fiction series, which was called Hasi Ki Reel Chhoot Na Jaye, which did very well.
Oh.
We launched a dedicated band where we introduced Hollywood movies dubbed in Bhojpuri and Hindi, and that was lapped up by the viewers. That is novelty. And we also launched a nostalgia band, a golden era band, which was Biskope Talkies, where we brought in the movies of yesteryear, but which represent the Bhojpuri culture in its erstwhile pure form, and that also was very well appreciated by the consumer.
Wonderful. Since we're talking about the content strategy for 2022, tell me, Amar, what has been your strategy for designing the FPC and slotting content the way you have done on Zee Biskope, and is it going to change going ahead? What are your main prime time slots? Do you have afternoon slots? Do you have special slots and initiatives for students or for the weekends? We know how television works, and this is This is not even GEC. I think if you look at movies in Bhojpuri, it's bigger than GEC.
So Pavan, like I mentioned in the beginning, that Zee Biskope is a curated channel, and by that what we meant was that every aspect of the FPC planning is born out of an understanding of who is the viewer in that dedicated band and what are they seeking in that particular time band. For example, there is an afternoon band called Family Chokha, which is meant for the family audience because the data shows that it is the mature audience which is sitting over there and they're looking for an entire whole family kind of an experience. That's the lunchtime.
Okay.
Then there is a band called Lovelitis, which is essentially for youngsters because that is 4 p.m. 5 p.m. is when they have come back from college. They are looking for some fun, romance, comedy, very youth kind of stuff. And then we have Fattam Fight, which is at 6 p.m., which is the evening band because by the time the men have come home back from work and now the remote is with them and they are looking for some masculine action, more action romance, action comedy, those kind of stuff. The FPC will remain pretty much the same in 2022 because this is the need which has been now kind of ratified by continuous consumption in these bands. Apart from that, we always keep experimenting by introducing new bands. Like I have just mentioned that we have introduced a weekend band called Biskope Talkies, where we are bringing yesteryear's golden era movies. We will be soon also launching a dedicated, like I had mentioned that we experimented with Hollywood dub. It was liked by the consumer. We will be expanding that band a bit and we will be introducing a slightly more dedicated band over there. And then the regular premiere bands are there where we do our world television premieres. So that's what our FPC looks like and will remain that. The morning hours are devotional hours because in this region, people start their entertainment consumption with devotional music first. So we have a dedicated devotional band which is a leader in the category. So that remains the early morning band, and from there the entertainment starts and goes on till the end of the day.
Excellent, wonderful. Now let's talk about viewership. What kind of viewership numbers and growth trends did the channel witness in the Bhojpuri category in the last year and over the past 2 years cumulatively? What was it that helped you to, get those viewership numbers?
We currently command the leadership share in the market. We have the highest leadership share of almost more than 25% in the category.
Wow.
Zee Biskope commands that. And there was a growth of almost a couple of percentage points from last year. The growth is driven on the back of a lot of new initiatives that we have done, apart from running the regular dedicated band. And some of it I already mentioned that we ventured into original content. We ventured into Bhojpuri movie entertainment beyond the staple Bhojpuri genres that viewers have been seeing. We also experimented with doing a lot of film festivals on topical days, which increased the interest in the entire genre because the topical days have never been celebrated from the point of view of movies, and we did a lot of quirky and out of box stuff. Like for example, if it is Teachers Day, we have done Love Guru, which is Kesari, one of the most celebrated romantic hero. So he's the Love Guru. He's going to give you tips on love. So we did some very quirky out of the box spin, and the viewers loved it. And I think a mix of a lot of this newness is what kept our growth engine running.
Excellent. And of course, the pandemic must have helped you with greater numbers of eyeballs from, lockdown, families.
Yes,
and viewers.
definitely. During the pandemic, the entire TV consumption had, swelled because people were homebound. Movies became one of the major entertainment because there was a lack of original content. And Bhojpuri's movie category also saw a very good rise in its POT. We quickly responded to that by, like I said, that we were aware that soon there will be a period of saturation. So we instantly responded to it by not just giving them the staple diet of movies, but by also creating a lot of innovative bands, innovative programs, so that they remain engaged, so that there's everything for everyone.
Lovely. Let's move to marketing, Amar, now. And Jit, marketing has been an amazing, very, very strong point for all that you do. Taking all the wonderful content, your, category first initiatives to viewers and bringing them onto the channel. And of course, then it was the content, the quality and the presentation that held them there. And the advertisers also came and the numbers came. Beautiful story. But when you launched, Amar, you give me the overview and maybe I can turn to Jit for details later. But when you launched, Amar, how did you go about customer awareness and acquisition for Zee Biskope? Primarily with viewers. What was then and is now the philosophy and strategy and tactics that you used or you use for your marketing, and what media mix?
Sure. Pavan, when we had launched Zee Biskope, the entire marketing approach was broadly divided into two parts. The first part was very critical in the first 6 months of the brand launch, and the second part becomes more important as we go along. The first part was awareness and attraction. It's a new brand; nobody has heard about it. We needed to create awareness, and not just awareness. There has to be an appeal. There has to be reason to come and sample it and love it. So that was the main driving force of marketing in the initial phases, and I think Jit will elaborate much better as to how we went about it. But howsoever, we were also very clear that as we will, once we will seep into people's awareness, we won't stop there. The second leg of marketing was familiarity and connect. We wanted it to be a brand which you do not only remember when you are thinking of entertainment, but which impacts your life on a day-to-day basis, or certain aspects of your life that you feel that this brand is not just for entertainment, but it enriches. This is how it was divided. I guess I would leave it to Jit to elaborate as to how we went about it from launch phase to now. The second leg is the stronger leg that we work upon now, because the familiarity, the attraction and attention part, we have already won that part. Now it's the second part that we are working deeper to enrich.
So you did what every digital marketer is doing today. Go with at least a two-pronged set of objectives, not just customer awareness, but customer acquisition too. That was a nice, strong, shortcut kind of a tactic. So Jit, tell us more. Tell us about all the wonderful marketing that your team and you have been doing.
Right. So I'll also take it one after the other. First, the launch phase. I think Amar rightly said that we've been doing a lot of category first initiatives at the launch phase. We did a brand song. We did a channel AB. For the first time ever, we brought the three superstars of Bhojpuri, Pavan Singh Nirawa and Kesari Lal Yadav together to do our brand films. Each with a different genre, which represents their particular genre. So, for example, Nirawa was drama, Pavan action, and Kesari Lal Yadav romance. We did illustrated key visuals featuring these three superstars. So, in the region, more than outdoor, you would find movie posters on the walls. And as you move from the city to the tier 2, tier 3 towns, you would find the copies of these posters. And hence, just to have a clutter breaking approach, we thought that an illustrated key visuals would be far more appealing and different to the audience. And hence we did that. We have followed a bilingual lingo in the slot names, with Bhojpuri and English coming together. So our slot names are Love Light is for romance, Pattam Fight for action, Family Chokha for drama, and Jilla Top for the World Television Premiere slot.
Yes, that was really interesting. What about the digital mascots that you created, Jit?
Yeah, so we did a digital mascot called Bhaiyaji and Gamchaji, representing a Bhojpuri youth who is a movie buff and he loves Bhojpuri movies and talks about the category, talks about his likes and dislikes of the movie, of the heroes and the genre as a whole. And he is the digital face of the brand and interacts with the audience. So that this was again a category first that we brought in.
No, really wonderful performance so far in marketing, Jit and Amar. I'm going to ask you one more question, which I'm sure you'd like to answer, because it's really amazing that in the last, 12, 13 months, Zee Biskope has won close to 100 awards across marketing. Tell me about that. What was it? How many have you won so far? If you call out today's date, which is the 18th of December, till today, how many have you won? And what is it that in the DNA of your marketing approach, your content-driven marketing approach, or what was it? How did you really go out and make each and every campaign count? What do you think has been behind it?
Right. So we stand at 93 awards in less than 13 months' time.
Wow! Take a bow, all of you. Wonderful.
Thank you. I think the biggest thing that has worked for us is, when Zee Biskope was launched, soon after that it entered into the pandemic. It faced the pandemic, and the biggest challenge then was to connect with the audience when on-ground connect, outdoor wasn't a reality. It is at that point when we figured that digital is one of the medium through which we can reach out to the audience. We were a new brand. We had to go and reach out to the audience and connect with them. And what we did was we did a content handshake between digital and television.
Excellent.
So we have launched a series of initiatives, each celebrating a special day, which are not very popular in the region, but we have curated it for the region and made it appealing. For example, we did talent camera action on Camera Day and Emoji Leheria on World Emoji Day. Now, each of these initiatives had a digital call to action phase, and they also had a culmination which is on television, where we featured the UGC videos of the viewers on television. And thereby the idea was to treat the digital medium as a potential viewer base and motivate them to sample the channel. And once they sample the channel, once they like us, they would stay with us and they would engage further with us. And we have also seen that each of these initiatives have resulted, we could find a correlation between the initiatives and viewership.
Excellent. I like the linear digital content handshake, and it's going to definitely remain one of your top priorities, because digital is huge and smartphones have proliferated like nothing else. I mean, every person who speaks Bhojpuri I know has one or at least two smart or feature phones with 2 or 3 or 4 SIM cards, and that's an amazing audience that's waiting to be captured. So Amar, do you want to give us something on your, not just understanding, but your directives and your guidance together, on the marketing? What has been important? What has helped your marketing achieve these wonderful results that Jit and his team have brought in for the channel?
When we set out with the engagement initiatives, our purpose was twofold. To make the brand accessible, provide something that the viewers can interact with the brand, get something from the brand more than just entertain, and hence a range of activities whereby they can showcase their talent, they can do some fun activities, they can express their local festivities, local culture, etc. etc. The other purpose was that they get to experience something which they do not experience in their regular life, and they are able to elevate their regular life experiences to the next level. For example, a lot of initiatives like Litti Chokha Divas or Birthday Laharia, etc. are born out of the thought that here is your cuisine, you want to celebrate it, you want to showcase it to the world that my cuisine is something which has to be appreciated as much as every other cuisine is, and here is a brand who is giving you a platform to showcase your love for your own local cuisine in the most innovative way. So it's elevating your life space, your ethos, and it is giving you a platform to celebrate it at a larger level. And hence, when you look at it, you feel very great that my cuisine, my way of celebrating love, my way of celebrating relationship, my way of living my life, my way of showcasing my talent is now acknowledged at a national level, at a larger level. So these were the two plinths on which we had started out creating these string of activities. And I guess because it just struck that chord, it was that hunger, it was, people homebound also was wanting to come out to the world and say, hey, even at my home, I'm doing some great stuff. Give me a platform to showcase it. And we kind of became that phase, which is what gave it a huge response, and which is what I think got recognized in various international and national forums, because this is what the brands are supposed to do, and we did that in this market, and that's what has got appreciated.
Excellent. So when you started with content which is Zameen se juda hua, Bhojpuri audiences ke liye. See, it's always about content marketing and stories and narratives that sort of showcase the ethos or the whole personality or the spark or the effervescence or the uniqueness of the brand that Zee Biskope has been. And in your communications also, all your stories, all your narratives were completely embedded जमीन से जुड़े हुए, with the culture, with the ethos. So you really
Yes. I would just want to add one line here. If you see the tagline of Zee Biskope, it is Aatho Pahariya Luta Lahariya.
correct.
It basically means that no matter what is the time of the day or what is the part of your life, you just enjoy.
Correct.
Lahariya means just enjoy with abandon.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, you have a great channel, wonderful content, beautifully marketed, and you're telling the whole world we are here. Watch us, enjoy us, and get us into your homes and your living rooms and into your hearts, which you all achieved. But obviously, if you were all dressed up and didn't have anywhere to go, there would be a problem. Thanks to distribution, you did reach, and I know that you still every channel has some ways to go always, and distribution can always get better and better. Everything is a work in progress, isn't it? The best wants to get better. So tell me about the distribution front, Amar. How has Zee Biskope fared on the distribution front? What is the availability footprint like?
In terms of viewership, Bihar and Jharkhand market is primarily a free dish viewership market. Free dish viewership commands almost 60 to 70% of the viewership. I think for any brand to be successful in this market, they have to first have a significant presence in the free dish, DD free dish. We are present over there. Apart from that, there are 5 to 6 significant DTH and cable networks who have the higher inroads into or the larger subscriber base. We are available over there also. Then there is a slew of independent operators. Over there, we are almost available to 80% of those, and the rest are something which are like right in the interiors, is something which is a work in progress. But I think the larger user base, almost 80 to 90% of the user base has access to Zee Biskope. That is what we have ensured, with our distribution network.
Right. So this next question to both you gentlemen. First to you, Amar. What is Zee Biskope's content strategy for 2022 and the marketing strategy for 2022? Jit, you can come in there also. Just tell me, share info on your upcoming content slate for 2022 and also your marketing campaigns.
Pavan, Zee Biskope started with the simple philosophy that this market is hungry for novelty and experimentation, and we will be giving them in large doses.
Right.
We will be continuing to push the envelope on that front even in 2022.
Right.
Along with our staple bands, premieres, etc., which will be present throughout the year. We will be venturing into some new verticals as well, new brand pillars, you can say that. We will be creating our own in-house original movies called ZBO, Zee Biskope Originals. These will be movies tailor-made for TV audience. This vertical would be exploring genres which are yet not explored in the Bhojpuri movie category.
Wow.
We believe that the viewer is ready to sample or to accept genres beyond what has already been catered to in the Bhojpuri movie space. So we will be bringing some very experimentative genres also in the Bhojpuri movie space. We will be creating some award IPs. Movie award IPs, IBFA will be coming in March. It's our IP which goes international and takes Bhojpuri to the international landscape and becomes a symbol of pride. And along with that, some more IPs will be coming in the next financial year. So there will be award IPs which will become one of the key pillars. We ventured into original content with a non-fiction series, and we will be doing more of those. They will be around movie fandom, because there is a lot of untapped movie fandom in this market. People love their stars, their music, the trivia about movies, and that has yet not been capitalized on in the category. So we will be doing a lot of original content around that. And along with that, we will have the grand premieres and some new bands also that we will be bringing for the audience in the year 2020. So all in all, we want to just up the game in terms of novelty when it comes to content.
Excellent. And so your content is also going to get some real solid tentpoles in the non-fiction awards category.
Yes.
So great content slate and upcoming strategy also. What about the marketing part? When you look at the marketing strategy for 2022, Amar, you want to take it, or Jit?
Jit, you can take it.
Sure. So Pavan, Zee Biskope is a movie plus brand that is serving Bhojpuri entertainment in an authentic, consumer-led space, and novelty is at our core. Viewer engagement drives as a conscious pillar of the brand. Because it gives us an opportunity, it gives the brand an opportunity to better understand viewers and hence better in catering to their content preferences. Which is why even in the coming year, we will be continuing our viewer connect, our viewer engagement drives. We will keep some of the marquee properties, we'll retain them, with obviously the gratifications and the scale of the properties will be far bigger than what they have been. And we will also bring some very innovative viewer engagement drives and also venture into the on-ground sector, which due to the pandemic and the restrictions, we have not been venturing much into. That's one area we will explore in the coming financial year. One very important thing to mention here that we have always used technology as one of our key parameters behind the viewer engagement drives on the digital platform. I think that will also remain. We'll come up with something really innovative on that front as well.
Great, wonderful. So Amar, all this lovely, great content and the plans for content, all really good. And Zee Biskope is available as a live channel on ZEE5 too. But I'm sure that you must be, do you actually take all the nice content of Zee Biskope and, push it out? Because the channel might not be going out internationally, but does the content that your team and you create and market so well together, does that add to the ZEEL stature in terms of the content bouquet as being farmed out on different channels of the ZEEL network internationally?
Yes, Pavan. ZEEL as a network has a policy that all the content goes to the international market as well. The same is applicable to the Bhojpuri category also. So when we acquire content or when we create content, its international rights are embedded in them.
Okay.
So ZEEL has a very wide international presence across all the continents, and all our Zee Biskope content is available over there on various platforms, as well as on ZEE5 also. Zee Biskope is available as a live channel.
Good, wonderful work so far. So, as you look at the first day of the rest of Zee Biskope's life, stepping into its third year, congratulations for that. You're already at 25% of the market share in the Bhojpuri market, for Zee Biskope. And I think that represents a growth of 2% over the last year, correct, in market share?
Yeah.
Right. So, what objectives or what goalposts or, what mandates have you set for yourselves or have been set for you as far as Zee Biskope and the future is concerned?
Pavan, the mandate almost remains the same that Zee Biskope had at its launch phase. The only thing is the definition and nuance of that mandate kind of changes today. We want to remain the leader, but with a very, very wide gap from the competition.
Okay.
We do want to keep pushing the envelope of novelty and innovation, but we want to dazzle the viewers now by something which they had not ever expected from the Bhojpuri category. So creating even better and even newer benchmarks. And like I said, the third point, that we want to be a touch and feel brand, something that you can take home to, something that a brand whom you can actually, really feel like that this brand is my friend, this brand is my mentor, this brand is my go-to brand when it comes to my dreams and aspiration. So that will go even deeper. Till now, because of pandemic, we had been doing online activities, but now that unlock has happened and slowly things are coming to normalcy, we will be going on ground, we'll be going door to door, we will be coming into your living room, not just on the TV set, but beyond the TV set as well.
Excellent. And what kind of media mix have you been using, Jit, Amar, in your marketing activities?
I think Jit is more qualified than me to answer this one.
Tell us, Jit.
So, Pavan, it has been a three-pronged approach. We've been promoting on television, but in addition to that, we have been promoting heavily on digital and also very consistently on radio.
Okay.
And that's also because, in our region, traditional media still remains very important. And hence, radio, television form an important part of our marketing mix.
Excellent. So, both you gentlemen, Amar and Jit, is there anything that you wish I had asked you which I haven't asked yet? Or anything you'd like to add?
No, I think it pretty much covers everything. Maybe Jit, you would want to add some of the emotional connect initiatives that we have done, which was the new aspect that we have added to Zee Biskope. I think that somewhere did not get covered.
Yeah, sure. So this year we did an initiative called Tu Chinta Mat Kar Mai, and this was a Mother's Day campaign wherein we've approached viewers to promise to their mothers on Mother's Day that they will take care of themselves during the pandemic. Intention was to have emotional quotient above intelligence quotient, EQ over IQ.
Lovely.
At that point in time, we have married the topical occasion, which was Mother's Day, with the need of the hour, which was pandemic awareness. But at that time, if you would see, we were bombarded with a lot of communication which were very functional, do's and don'ts of the pandemic. Hence, we thought that how do we, differently approach the viewers? And that's when we thought that EQ over IQ is a good strategy, and that's what we've applied, and we've got real success with the campaign.
Okay.
And even during Chhat Puja, we have done an activation in Patna, wherein we have used the emotional quotient factor for the Vratins, who are the mothers and grandmothers of the family keeping the Vrat. And hence, I would say, even that campaign got us a very good response, and hence emotional quotient becomes a very important part of our marketing campaigns this year, and we have seen success around it.
Excellent. Really, from content to marketing, from on-air fare to the off-ground and on-ground and, digital marketing communications across. It's been a really beautiful unified view, which is seamless, but, which enters the lives and homes and the culture and the backyards of your viewers and remains there with the channel in an emotionally really well accepted way. And that has been proven by the wonderful achievements of Zee Biskope over its first 2 years. Very, very big, hearty congratulations to all of you, especially to you, Amarpreet Singh Saini, Amar Chief Channel Officer, Bhojpuri Cluster at ZEEL, and Jit Sengupta, Director Marketing, Zee Biskope, my guests today on this episode of the MediaCast podcast series. And also, of course, to the unfortunately absent from this episode, Samrat Ghosh, who's the Chief Cluster Officer, East ZEEL, who has been driving this so amazingly well with the great support from Amar and Jit and your teams. I enjoyed this conversation on MediaCast. What did you think of it, Amar and Jit? So, Amar?
Pavan, many times it happens that conversations and interactions also breed new thoughts or helps you consolidate your thoughts. It had been the same kind of an experience with you on this edition of MediaCast, and it's been the same kind of an impact of Mediabrief as well, over the years. So absolutely delighted and thankful for such a thoughtful conversation with you. Helps us a lot. Thank you so much.
Pleasure is all mine and ours. So, Jit, what do you have to say?
I would agree with Amar, Pavan. It has been an excellent experience for both of us. And thanks to Mediabrief for this opportunity. And we really look forward to great success ahead.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Jit. Thank you, Amar. You've been very kind, very gracious. And thanks also to Deepika of Mozart, who facilitated this interaction. Amarpreet Singh Saini, fondly called Amar, Chief Channel Officer, Bhojpuri Cluster at ZEEL, and Jit Sengupta, Director Marketing, Zee Biskope, were my distinguished guests on this very special episode of MediaCast from Mediabrief.com. I'm your host and friend Pavan Chawla, and with my entire team and with MediaCast and with each and every reader and user of Mediabrief, I think on behalf of all of them, this is my wonderful opportunity to say a big congratulations to Zee Biskope and the entire team on 2 successful, very successful years, category-defining years. Wishing you all the very best in the 3rd and all the years that are going to follow. Till we meet again in the next episode of MediaCast, the podcast series from Mediabrief.com. This is your host and friend Pavan Chawla saying, stay safe. Bye-bye.